everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show. And we have a very special guest for you coming up this hour from Washington, D.C., a local comedian that I met about 4 years ago, around about maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Very funny gentleman, stand-up comedian based in D.C., travels, though, all over the country and has even performed in Alaska. And we were talking about performing comedy outside. He's going to be perfect for comedy outside in January. Just kidding, probably not. It's going to be too cold. But he's been in Alaska, and while in college, he was named the funniest college student in D.C. and has not stopped since. And so he's performed at the L.A. Diversity Comedy Festival, Cleveland Comedy Festival, and he's been performing at colleges and all over the place. I'm running out of accolades. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, please welcome to the show my very good friend, the very talented and the very funny Martin Phillips. What's up, Martin?
Hey, what's up, guys? Please, I'm here.
Martin, what's going on, man? Long time no see, man. What you been up to?
I'm reporting live from my bed. If I wasn't on the show right now, I guess I'd just be sleeping. But I did not just wake up. Okay? This was just the most quiet place to go to. So I actually have a job and stuff. I've been productive today, I swear. But I wanted to, get a quiet place where we wouldn't be interrupted. So that's why I'm on my bed right now. But besides that, just chilling, keeping it real, how I do,
You got to love it, Martin. You got to keep it real.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this pandemic affecting all of us comedians and everything. And Martin, you said that you have been doing some Zoom shows.
Yeah.
And tonight you're going to be doing one outside. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've been doing Zoom shows. Actually, this past weekend, I was on the, I think it's called I should know what it's called, I just did it, but it's called the Plano Comedy Festival that's from Plano, Texas. But this year, I didn't have to go all the way to Texas because they did it virtual. So I did all their virtual shows at their comedy festival this past weekend. And now on Monday nights, Remy Mustafani, he's another local comedian producer. He puts on this mic in the back patio outside. His thing is called, Bear Branch Cafe. I want to say it's cafe. It's in Vienna outside. And it starts kind of later at 9. But usually there's people there. And I mean, sometimes they're already there eating, but a lot of times they stay, even if they're already there. And people go out, say, that's tonight at 9 in Vienna, Virginia, so I've done it a couple times, and it's a good show. It's and it's Monday, so usually Mondays are in drag anyway, so. No one likes Mondays, so just come to that show. I guess.
Well, Martin, Mondays are drag, dude, normally, but why not go out and see some comedy? I mean, try to lift your Monday up a little bit. And you're a very funny guy. I've seen you on stage a lot of times, and you're well respected in the comedy community as being one of the better comedians. There's no question about that.
I hope so. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, man. There's no doubt about it now. But you were talking about doing some Zoom shows. How do you like doing comedy on that platform?
So I went through a period. I haven't done Zoom shows besides this weekend in a while, but I did go through a period back in the spring, and it was different, I'll admit. But I mean, there's we had no other avenue for comedy. So I did it I don't know, I think I did it 3 times a week, and it was different, but I don't know, I think I was able to adapt into a Zoom set. I had the jokes I would do for the Zoom show, which a lot of times were either about the Zoom show or about the virus, because that's, all we all that was really going on anyway. So it was, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but for that time period, it was, not, it's all we had. So I thought, it was okay. I'm happy we were able to adapt to these outdoor
Yeah.
shows. And
Yeah.
shows were probably better with actually performing. But there's no shame in doing Zoom shows if you have one, because a lot of times there a lot of people put on Zoom shows. Some of the producers can get people to come who aren't
Yeah.
comedians, so
Yeah.
there are times you can actually hear laughs, so uh, and that's
Yeah.
okay. So you can see if the joke works, although sometimes the laughs can be like delayed, so you might have to pause a little bit. But it's okay. So yeah,
It's okay. I mean, and the only thing as a comedian, as well as I do, it's very difficult for the laughs because they go up into the air and they disappear and they get up into the iCloud. And, me being 56, I'll never get the laugh back because I don't know anything about computers.
oh yeah,
Just kidding, Martin. But no, we don't, Martin, but we want it to be inside, and we're going to have to make the best of it for now. I'm going to go down to Miami in November
it was
and,
nice.
do some comedy. I got some in-laws down there, so I'm going to go for Thanksgiving. So I'll do comedy outside, I think, for the first time in Miami. As a matter of fact, they're starting to go inside now and do shows down there, believe it or not. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. I don't know. I don't. Whenever I try to like stop by like an inside show, I
yeah.
do. I'm always like, yeah, it's usually too many people here. I don't know if I should be. It's like, it's probably not good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Well, Martin, I'll tell you, man, this pandemic has made it really difficult for everybody, but we're going to get through it somehow, some way. We're going to get through it. So I tell you one thing, Martin, I don't know about you, but I learned a lot of patience during the pandemic, and I
Yeah,
also learned that because I'm AARP age, I'm 56, so
yeah,
you would think that I would stop rushing around all the time. I don't have to run around anymore, but I'm still running around for different reasons. I just want to know where the bathroom is.
yeah.
That's it. I'm rushing.
Yeah.
Where's the bathroom?
Is it
Anyway,
at your house? Shouldn't you know where your bathroom is? Is it in your house? It's like,
Martin, thank you. It's right around the
oh
corner.
yeah,
But
it's making
but
sure.
anyway, that's the only thing I'm really worried about is where's the bathroom. Martin, I want to know from you what you think is going to happen with the pet. Do you have a prediction as to how long this might last?
I mean, I am not a medical professional. I am not a scientist. I used to be very hopeful. I used to think,
Yeah.
hey, by the end of the year, we'll have the vaccine and then we'll get it out. But now it's looking maybe early next year. I don't know. But then I read this whole thing. Even when we have the vaccine,
Yeah.
like distributing it across the country to millions of people, that's also going to take a long time. So even when we do get a vaccine that works, it's going to take some time to get everyone vaccinated. And of course, there's going to be people who don't want to get vaccinated. They ruin it for like everyone. So either it's going to be, I mean, honestly, it sucks, but I mean, this whole pandemic it could go into like a year or more. We could be looking, a vaccine, I don't know, February, March, that we all have to get vaccinated. That might go into June. So,
Yeah.
I might be becoming less optimistic, but it's just uh, a lot has to happen. It's a whole process. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I still hope by the end of the year, but I don't know if that's looking plausible anymore. And honestly, when it first started, we all thought, hey, this will be good like in a month. And then we're like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
terrible. So, well, yeah, so we're probably going to be this way for like at least a year, unfortunately.
I think I agree with you, Martin. It's probably going to be about a year. We got a lot of stubborn people out here too, Martin. That's going to make it
Yeah.
longer. Like I was at the grocery store the other day, and everyone's in line, and the person at the front, everybody's got a mask on, right? But
Yeah.
the lady that's getting her food, registered and yada yada yada, she doesn't have one on, and she's kind of looking at everybody like, I dare you to say anything to me, just kind of like proud that she doesn't have to wear a mask. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just
No.
put a mask on.
Yeah.
Just,
It's not.
just put a mask on.
It's
You know?
yeah. It's not really asking for that much. Like It's not like it's one thing if you were required to wear
Right.
like that cone you have to put on your dog. That'd be one thing. Like I'd probably be upset about that, but a mask isn't that big of a deal. It's not.
It's not that big of a deal, Mark.
Yeah, it's
Not
not
that big of a deal.
asking much, and they come in. They have a bunch of
It's not asking
designs.
a lot.
It's really nice. So you can have fun with it.
Oh man, the designs are beautiful, man. I mean,
Yeah.
just put your mask on and make your own mask. Design one. Go buy a cute one, a pretty one. Have fun with it. I mean, have you seen Ralph Cooper's mask? You ever seen Ralph Cooper's mask?
What is it?
Oh, Ralph, man, Ralph's got this mean mug mask, like he's mugging the world. You know how Ralph Cooper is, man. He's got a very creative mask. It's like, Ralph, I can, have fun with this stuff.
Yeah. I got skulls on my mask, so I don't have it right about here right now, but it's pretty. It's pretty cool.
Well, look, Martin, let me ask you something, dude, about your comedy as far as in different parts of the country, like New York, there's Boston, there's Los Angeles.
Yes.
Clearly, you've been to LA. You did the LA Diversity Comedy Festival.
Yes.
You've been to Cleveland and so forth. How would you compare some of the other parts of the country as far as comedy goes with Washington, D.C.? How would you compare them?
I mean, I wasn't in those cities for too long. It was a lot of times those cities I visited were only for a couple of days or a weekend. I never had been there for like an extended period of time. But for what I've heard, and I guess I've been places a little bit longer than there are a while. I don't know right now, but before. Yeah. There were a lot more shows with actual people in there, and I'm not too sure how these other cities and places are doing as many outdoor shows as what's going on right now around here. So I know compared, DC definitely had quality shows with people 7 days a week, and a lot of places might did not even have 7 days a week, or if they did, a lot of them weren't even that good. It was just like just a room full of comedians, like 2 or 3 or 4 people. So even when I was there, like for a few days or the week I was visiting, I guess I did notice that a lot of the shows were just, I didn't really have to go, but it was still fun to do. Yeah, DC definitely has a good scene going on.
Yeah. I've often heard that the audiences in Washington, D.C. are more challenging than other parts of the country. And I didn't know if you noticed a difference. I've been to San Diego, I've been to Miami, and I noticed it's not, because I think in DC that the audiences, they think about the jokes a lot. They overthink the joke, and then but they make you work hard. They make you a better comedian. So I didn't know if you noticed a difference in those other places you'd been in.
Yeah, depending on where I'm at, I know DC probably has like a lot more smarter stuff, but hey, it's always half of my show, so hey, I think I'm good. I think it works for me. So,
Martin, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
Oh man, I started in college, like you said, the funniest college student, and so it's like 8 years, maybe almost 9. It's been forever. I don't know why I'm still here. I don't know. It's been so long.
Hey, Martin, look. So now you've been doing comedy for 8, 9 years. Okay, so What is the biggest thing that you have learned about stand-up comedy that has made you a better comedian?
I know when I first started, um, I try to do a lot of like stories, but you
Okay.
realize that you only have like 5 minutes. You don't really have that
Yeah.
much time to
Right.
set everything up. That's why
Yeah.
a lot of my jokes, or I even kind of evolved. A lot of my jokes even now are just very quick setup. I try. So
Yeah.
just just to know to have the jokes ready. Like you're not quite the professional where people are gonna listen to you just like tell this whole story and set it up for 5 minutes, and then
Yeah.
you gotta say I've always gotta from the get open the gate, come out and do it, come swinging jokes and jokes and jokes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and yeah.
what's the longest set that you've ever done? Have you ever done like a half hour,
I
45
think, yeah,
minutes?
I think I've done like 20 minutes. I've done half hour every now and then. I've done like I think I did like 45 like once or twice,
Okay.
but those weren't like really like professional shows. Service shows. They're just like go as long as you want, just keep going, and that was like okay. So I don't know if I'm quite the headliner, but I can go a half hour a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, see, Martin, the thing is, when you're doing the longer sets, you're talking about telling a story.
yeah,
And there are some comics that, love to tell stories, and that's fine. But what happens is you have to come out and go punch, 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 maybe three, four good shots. Everybody's laughing.
yeah,
Now the audience gives you permission to tell your story,
yeah,
because they like you and now they're going to listen. But if it's a 5 minute set, at an open mic, or even 10, you don't have time to really get into a story. So,
yeah. That's the whole set. If you do, so it's not gonna get much done. So
right, right. So that's the biggest takeaway so far for you after about 8 or 9 years is just, all right,
uh,
let's get rid
well,
of the stories
that
and
was
get to
yeah,
the point.
that was like one of my first takeaways. I mean, I've learned. I used to. I mean, I still do this. I'm still really good. Like I always constantly do have new jokes, and I used to think like that was good. It just
Yeah,
which I still do, but I've become more open at just going back to the old material too, and not just shutting that away because it happens to be maybe 5 or 6 years old. So it's all
yeah,
about and you can and everything kind of evolves. So you think of other jokes related to the topic, and then
right.
you can put those together, and then you have like 4 minutes about taking a bath, and so
Right.
or, or like I have like I swear I have like 10 minutes about like my cat, or
Yeah.
so I used to like just do the material and then think of more jokes and just
Yeah.
keep. Like I used to have like my new like 5 or 10,
Yeah.
really every month or whatever. I used to
Sure.
I used to be really good. Like before this pandemic, I was a master of thinking of the new five. Like every literally like in the beginning of the year and of last year, it was like every week I knew I would go shows every night, like throw out the new jokes, and it just evolved throughout the week. So I,
Yeah.
I definitely have my process. And then it all ended, of course. But even now, I've always kind of always been thinking, always grinding out
Yeah.
new jokes. But I realize that's good, but the old joke's still good too. So don't feel like you have to get rid
Oh,
of
no.
excuse that because like I don't have a comedy special. So it's one thing if I dropped my comedy special, then yeah, those jokes after that drops, I probably can't do it anymore, right? But I
Right.
don't
Right.
have a comedy special yet.
Yeah.
So, if
You're going to get one, though, Martin. It's
let's
coming, dude. I
let's
can see it. There's no doubt in my mind, Martin. you are going to get a comedy special.
Yeah, I hope so too. So yeah, so I'm saying that
Yeah.
where we're at now, it's okay. Just keep building the jokes. Use what you have.
Yeah.
Don't feel ashamed if the joke. Interesting enough. David Spade. Uh,
Uh-huh.
David Spade. He had that show on Comedy Central. I think it
Yeah.
got canceled, but he did a joke on that show that he did on Johnny Carson, like in '91, and this is
Okay.
like 2020, right? So
Yeah.
that joke was like 30 years old, and he
Yeah.
still did it. So
Yeah.
I'm saying there's no actual like deaths to jokes
No. No.
unless like it's a joke that's like topical and it's got like out of date. If you're
Yeah.
talking about like, hey, what's up with Enron? Like people like who's talking about Enron in 2020? So
Right.
some
Right.
jokes, yeah, if it's topical, you might have to pay for S, but always be open to the material. Never feel like you can't do a joke because how old it is,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
but
That
yeah,
you can do it. Jerry Seinfeld is a big believer in keeping jokes that work.
yes,
Like
exactly.
he doesn't believe in throwing jokes away. Now, of course, he keeps expanding, but the jokes that are gold, they stay with him. He
Yeah.
doesn't throw them away. So
And Seinfeld is so good that actually at the end of his shows, he's like, "Hey, shout out what jokes you want me to tell." So,
right.
you could be at that level one day where people know your jokes, and you can just be like, "Hey, say the one about the playground, or the one about the tricycle." I don't know why those are my examples, but anyway,
Well,
so yeah.
you're good, Martin, when people say, "Hey, tell the one about," or whatever. It's like those jokes you never ever throw away. And then when you start building new material, you start to realize after a while it's really not that difficult to create another 10 minutes, to create another 20 minutes. And oh, by the way, I could talk about one subject for 15 minutes. You start figuring this thing out the longer you're in. And the pandemic, dude, it just shut everything down because I felt like I was starting to get into a real rhythm in February. I went to Miami and I
Yeah,
came back to DC, and then boom, COVID-19. And it's just kind of weird, but it's like riding a bicycle, Martin. It's like you never forget. I mean, maybe this is just a time for us to rest and think of other ways to build our career
yeah.
until we get back out there doing what we were doing before. We can bring some new things with us.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Even during the early days where nothing was going on, I still like I wrote down a bunch of joke ideas. I
Yeah.
don't know if half of them are even good, but I still was thinking of stuff and
Yeah.
saying stuff in my head. A lot of them I never said ever on stage, but I see as long as you at least keep thinking of stuff, and then there were Zoom shows I could try them out. And
Yeah.
then, these outdoor things. So I never stopped like not thinking of not writing jokes and thinking of stuff. So, you know, just you know, yeah.
Well, Martin, let me ask you this regarding stand up. You said you've been involved for 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It says that's you've been doing this for a while. So, do
Yeah.
you remember, Martin, during your journey in comedy when you realized, hey, you know what? I can do this. I can actually be really good at this. Do you remember around about when that happened?
I always knew this is what I wanted to do. I always knew that I wouldn't say from the get go that I was like, yeah, I'm the best, but I'm not
Yeah.
quite saying that. If I always do like this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think it took me, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 years,
Okay.
to the point where it's like I can go on stage and no matter what, I can make it work. So
Okay.
I used to be
Okay.
more like, okay, I have my jokes. I hope this goes well. But then after a few years, it's like I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I can say I can go out there and I know what I'm doing, and I'm not as worried about this going horribly. So
Martin, I really love you as a comic. I love the way that you operate on stage. I went to a show once. It was where Jelani Wills he was doing a roast battle
okay,
night, and then the open mic started afterwards, right?
okay,
So, and I was there for the open mic, and
okay,
I watched the I watched the roast battle, right? Which
yeah.
I think is
I,
'cause, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I
Martin.
was there. I remember these roast battles. I think it was a couple years in a row we did the roast
Yeah.
battle at the
Yeah.
bench, and it was. I remember these very well. Yes.
And so I was there watching it. I'm an older guy, so I mean, I don't really, understand the roast battle, how you guys just kind of attack each other
It's
and
the
everything. And
meanest thing.
it,
Think of the meanest thing about someone and just say it. Like think of the most terrible thing you
yeah,
could say to a person's face and just say it. And so
and the thing that I noticed during the roast battle, you were involved in the contest, and I just love your bravery and your courage, because the guy that you went up against, I thought was brutal, because he really attacked, your muscular dystrophy, and you were like so cool about it, and like you just kind of shrugged it off, and you just kind of dissected the guy, and
yeah,
I was just amazed, man. I was like, wow, that was really
yeah.
skilled work that you did. That was tough, and you did great. You did great, Martin.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I faced. It might have been Diomed. I remember
No,
Diomed.
it wasn't
Wasn't
Diomed. It was
because
I forget the guy's name, but it wasn't D.
okay, D, I burned so badly. What I did, I ran in the backstage and I found a fire extinguisher and I hosed him up. Right, and that was I just happened to see a fire extinguisher there. But okay, and D still brings that up like that. I burned it so bad I had to get a fire extinguisher. I guess it wasn't D. Okay, I can't quite remember who else I faced. I know I faced one of my best friends, but
Yeah,
I faced this guy named Matt Eisenberg. But it
it
was
wasn't Matt. It wasn't Matt Eisenberg.
okay.
No.
I know. I don't know. I can't quite remember everyone I faced. But anyway, thanks though. It was,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, again, like, I don't know. Things you can, I don't care when people say, well, and it's like a roast battle. So it's not supposed to be taken seriously anyway. So
Yeah. Exactly. And you
I'm
did
used
great.
to, I'm used to like my friends making fun of me anyway. So like that's like the people closest to me in my life have said the meanest things to me. So
Yeah.
it's yeah,
It.
it's like whatever, you know. Like I think I don't know. I think it's like a male thing. I think males make fun of each other. That's a thing. So I
Yeah.
just yeah, it's like it's weird as like a guy to like say nice things about people in your gut. I don't know. I've always felt that way. Maybe I'm wrong, but I
Well,
know
you know what? I know you're right. I think you're 100% spot on correct. It just kind of made me mad a little bit, because the guy that was attacking you, I just think I didn't think it was fair, and he actually won that round. But
well,
you did great, and you really did great. And I just had a newfound I already respected you anyway, Martin. But after seeing you do that, I had even more respect for you. I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of guts, and you did great, man. But I remember that night. I'll never forget that night. I wish I could remember the guy's name, because you guys must have been really good friends, because he just didn't care. I mean, he just said whatever he wanted to say, and it
yeah.
was pretty wild. But you did great, Martin. I love it, man. Let me. And speaking of that, how do you deal with hecklers?
I mean, honestly, I haven't had too many hecklers to be honest. That's
Okay,
usually not something I deal with too regularly.
that's
But
good. That's
I
good.
don't
Yeah.
know. Just I guess just calling them out, and most people in the audience are already against that dude or person anyway. So usually it's not too bad. You just call them out. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm not very confrontational, but yeah, usually, it's pretty straightforward.
So let me ask you this, Martin, before you get on stage, everybody gets nervous on some level.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the butterflies and the nervousness before you go up there?
Um, I don't know. I guess I do get nervous a lot of times. I just have to be in my own mind, or I'll just walk around and then just kind of, once they call my name, maybe I feel kind of shy, but once I start talking, it seems to work. If I just get that first laugh, I'm
Yeah,
really
yeah.
go into it. I think my friend told me, my friend and also roommate, shout out Charlie Ross. Charlie told me that like a lot of times it's like, and I also agree with this. I think I've said this too. I think one uh, part of me is people don't expect me to say the things I say. So a lot of times it might be when I go out there, kind of like singling me out and calling me up. But once I show that I'm actually funny, it's
Yeah,
like people are more amped on it and are rooting for me. So, and again,
yeah,
and I don't say quite the things you think I would say. And sometimes I even say things that are terrible and horrible, but it works though. I think that I might not be as funny if that part didn't work for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time I've seen you on stage, you've killed. Every time I've seen you. So, with that being said, though, Martin, you know that stand-up comedy can be a pretty rough and brutal game, and things don't always go well for us up there. Would you care to share your worst bombing experience?
My worst bombing experience. Let's see. I have to, man. I have to start thinking about this.
Okay.
Um, this one time. Oh, this is kind of a funny story. I can tell you two times.
Okay.
It's one time. This is like early on. We did a show, and there was like this older couple like in the audience.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even acknowledge like the show was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, then I pointed to the old lady. I was like, oh, so you're the old hag who took the handicap parking space. And she didn't respond. I felt kind of bad about it. But she didn't respond, but nobody laughed either. I was like, okay. And honestly, I may not have said hag, but that's that
I
also,
get it, Martin. I
yeah,
get,
yeah,
yes.
that might have also hurt the joke where I'm just really mean to an old
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
But the other time, this is actually a pretty crazy story. I've told this I think on a podcast before, but
Yeah.
I in college, my friend at another college was putting on his own festival for like the residence hall, all the resident buildings there. And
Okay.
he was looking for acts, and I was like, "Hey, like I've been doing comedy for like over a year, hey,
Yeah.
whatever." And that also was outside. That was my first outdoor show.
Okay.
Little did I know that was going to be my future. But anyway, I I performed on my own college campus before, and I've
Yeah.
done the regular act. It was no big deal. And anyway, I go there. They gave me like I swear they gave me like 25 minutes, and I don't think at that point I could even do that long.
Yeah.
And like you said at the beginning, a lot of times doing it outside, it's just weird because it's really spread out the laugh. So I really didn't feel the most comfortable on stage. I
Right.
probably did like 10 minutes or so. And I did 10 minutes. I wasn't feeling it. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
peace out or whatever. So, but I did my normal act. I didn't really do it, that I usually did wherever I went. Then before the next act, this like guy came up And he was like, because it was put on by the Wrestling Hall Association. And
Yeah.
this guy was like the president. And he was like, hey, on behalf of the RHA, we would like to publicly apologize for the previous act. So I guess I was actually really worried that I was going to get like charged for like disturbing the peace or something, or like I thought they were going to escort me off campus. Like, no one talked to me. My friend, the booker, I think he got yelled at, but I didn't think I said anything too like profane. But uh, so yeah, they gave a public apology for my act before. So I consider that a bomb. That's probably a
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. That's pretty bad, Martin. That's pretty bad, dude. But that happened early in your career. So you're still trying to
yeah,
figure this thing
yeah,
out, you know?
yeah,
So,
I think.
yeah, that's funny, man. That's hilarious. It's we've all got stories as comics. I mean, as part of this I call it a daredevil act, Martin, when we get on stage, because we honestly don't know what's going to happen sometimes. Like, you know, even when you get really good, you go, wow, man, you hope that things will turn out well. And then something crazy will happen that you've never seen before. And you have to deal with it. I was in Miami and these two girls started a fight right in the middle of my set.
Yeah,
It was like the elephant in the room. I tried to
yeah,
ignore it and
uh,
continue doing my set, and I bombed, you know, because I didn't
yeah,
address the elephant in the room, you know,
yeah,
because it's like, man, how do you you know deal with that, you know? So I mean, all kind of crazy things happen up there. So
yeah,
everybody's got a story, you know,
yeah,
at least one, two, three, or four, right?
yeah, exactly. This other time, I think I used to host this show, and there was a really drunk guy in the audience. I guess you could say a heckler, yeah. And
Yeah,
I just like called him out or something, and I said some joke, and I was like, "Yeah, you wouldn't get the reference." And actually, he stood up from his chair and started to like come at me. Like he started to walk towards me, and I was like, I mean, I'm a wuss. Like I'm not gonna. I'm pacifist. I don't know how to like fight it. I'll get beat up easily. I just remember I was like, "Don't touch me." I'm sorry. And then they asked court. Nothing happened because they kicked him out immediately.
yeah.
But that was probably the scariest time when someone actually kind of came towards me, and I was like, "Oh."
Oh
So
no, no! You
yeah,
just never know what's gonna. I had the same
yeah,
thing happen once before, and I just made a joke. I don't normally, and everybody laughed at the guy. You know, I'm a clean comic, so I didn't
yeah,
say anything mean. I just kind of made a joke, and everybody laughed, and he sat down. But you just never know what's going to happen.
yeah.
What motivates you, Martin, to get on stage in front of a bunch of people that you've never seen before in your life, complete total strangers, and be their buddy for the next 10 to 15 minutes and make them laugh? What makes you want to do something like that?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess that's a question we all ask ourselves. Like, why? Why
Yeah,
do we?
yeah,
Yes, I don't know. Maybe I probably need some type of validation. I guess I'm not good at socializing with people like one on one. So
okay,
maybe this is how I do it, or just it's just something. It's just something I believe I am talented at, and
yeah,
I'm happy to share it. So when I can, it feels good when you do something and do something well. So getting those laughs, I guess, is a way I can get a connection with
yeah,
other
yeah.
human beings that maybe I'm not the best at getting in regular life, I guess.
Well, you know what? You're not alone. You know, Jerry Seinfeld is the exact same way. He said that many times. He's not good one on one in social interaction. He's matter of fact, Jerry has gone as far as to say, "I hate everybody."
I feel the same way. Yeah, I know. It's something, yeah, something like, but, gross, right?
So I guess it's just a way for some comics. I mean, every comic has their reasons for doing stand up, but you know, I think it's all about getting a lot of pent up emotions, opinions
Yeah,
just out into the universe. You
yeah,
just want to tell it to somebody or just
yeah,
tell the world, like, look, this is the way I see it, and I want you to hear me for the next 20 minutes. Everybody's got their different reasons for it, but it's interesting you said that you're not good at one-on-one social interaction, because most people think that comics are like the life of the party and they want to talk to everybody. But I know a lot of people, Martin, that are great at dinner parties. They're great in the break room at work. They're great in front of Starbucks. They can have you in stitches. And then you say, hey, you should try stand-up comedy. And they're like, oh, no, 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 no. I
Yeah.
don't want any part of that. No way. I'm not doing it. So it's kind of weird the way that is sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's becoming better known that more quiet and distant people are probably the more funny people. I think the stereotype of what a comedian is, I think people know are beginning to understand it's a person who's probably more quiet and more has a lot more emotional issues and than the loud person who's around making jokes all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%, man. I want to switch gears real quick, Martin, and ask you somewhat of a serious question, just to get your opinion, but
Okay.
because of the current racial and social environment in America right now being very hot with the Black Lives Matter, and we have law enforcement and so forth and so on and all that, and the protesting and everything. And even the world now, Martin, is appalled at the way the United States has been dealing with racial issues. In the midst of all of that, do you think that positive, effective change can come in this country eventually?
I mean, it's hard to say because
Yeah,
you say like we think, we have such upward progress, but then we hear this next news story of someone getting shot, another unarmed black person, and then after they have like investigations and there's still no arrest, like in the Breonna Taylor case. So
yeah, yeah,
it's there is there was the movement. We've seen the movement and people know and want to change, but
yeah,
uh, it's kind of hard to say when it's gonna go fully. When it's like the next story comes out, it's like the same thing happened. So
right.
I think you just have to keep fighting for what you believe in and voting for what you believe in and doing what's right. So it's hopefully we there can be change, but stuff doesn't happen overnight. But it seems like
Yeah.
uh, there's a lot of support for issues like this, so it's at least that's good.
Yeah, and the thing about it, Martin, it seems like it's almost getting worse, quite frankly. And honestly, you mentioned Breonna Taylor, and the final ruling on that situation was just totally mind blowing, mind boggling. How an event like that could occur, where the law enforcement made a mistake. Okay, you made a mistake, but you happen to kill someone by mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
So that has to be addressed. We get it. Okay, that was the wrong house, but you killed someone.
Yeah, that,
So to kind of act as though it doesn't matter, that life doesn't matter, and no one's going to be held accountable or responsible for the mistake. I mean, that is just mind-boggling,
yeah,
Martin. To
I
me,
mean,
it's
yeah.
mind-boggling.
Yeah, people are still dead. So whatever the case says, this person still died and shouldn't
Yeah,
have died. So I mean, there should be accountability for that. You just can't. You know what I mean? Right, yeah,
you just can't act as though it didn't happen.
yeah,
That means you
exactly.
have.
Or just brush it off like, my bad. But yeah, a person's still dead. Like, no matter what, we have to, hold responsibility and
And
just
Martin, that's the saddest thing about the whole deal here, is the fact that the American law enforcement system is basically saying, my bad.
yeah, exactly. It's always my bad, and no one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy how, like, like they don't. I guess they don't feel bad. Like I imagine. I mean, I'm not like a person. I'm not like a cop or anything. But if I did like shoot someone and they died, even if it was an accident, like I couldn't live with myself. I don't understand how people, if that's your job to protect and you messed up and I mean, it's just another day. I don't know how you can just keep on going.
Yeah, I don't know how you just keep on going. And it looks to me, Martin, and I certainly hope I'm wrong, but it looks like it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah,
It's like the message is not being heard by the American legal system, and it's not being heard, it's not being taken seriously, and so it just seems to be, kind of, getting bigger and expanding. So I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on it, what you thought might happen. But
yeah,
we're in the midst of a lot of things in America right now. I mean, not only that issue, but we do have, the COVID-19. We can't,
yes.
everything in the world has kind of stopped right now. And it just kind of makes you wonder, oh man, wow, what's really going on? Are we looking at a modern day Rome disintegrate? You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, yeah.
it's
Well,
crazy.
well, let's see. How long was Rome? And I swear, Rome was like in power for like how long? Like 400. I think what
Yeah,
700,
you know what? You're right. At least 400. It might have been a
Yeah,
lot, maybe
I'm
six to
gonna
eight
say
hundred years. I'm not sure. It's a long
Rome
time.
was around for a while, although they probably did terrible. Things got more inhumane back then. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We,
I don't know. I
hey,
don't know.
we will see, Martin. I appreciate you entertaining that topic real quick. I just wanted to
Yeah.
get your mindset on it. Now, let me switch back to comedy. So, what are some things? Are you working on anything in the future, project wise?
I mean, I'm on some shows, outdoor shows and stuff upcoming. Um, I guess. Oh, I do this podcast.
A podcast, exactly.
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, yeah. That's what you wanted me to say. I do. Yeah, we got this podcast. It's actually the one I'm doing now. I started this year. It's about the Bachelor franchise. If you don't know, Maurice, the Bachelorette premieres October
Better
13th.
why? Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, you kind of went out a second. It's okay, Martin. Keep going. We lost our Wi-Fi for a second.
Okay. Well, it's out the Bachelor. The Bachelorette starts October 13th, and I have my co-host, fellow comedian Jenny Quistel. Me and her
Jenny
watch it.
Quisnell. Okay.
Quistel.
Is she a DC comic?
Yeah, yeah, and she's around Jenny. I don't know. You may have not seen her. I don't know if you guys have met, but Jenny, she's been around. She's really funny. So we host this together. We watch the episode, discuss it, maybe fight with each other. I don't know. It gets heated. We have different opinions. I love the show. She hates the show. It's a great contrast.
Those
Really,
those are definitely differing opinions,
yeah,
Martin. Yes.
yeah. So yeah, the show is starting soon. I think we're gonna record like a preview of the season this week and release
Okay.
that. And then once the show starts, we'll be doing regular episodes. And this season on The Bachelorette, they actually have two different Bachelorettes, so it's crazy. It's gonna be a fun time. But so yeah.
So, how can fans listen to the podcast? What
Oh yeah,
platform can
oh
they?
sorry, I didn't even say the name of it. It's Rose and Thorns. So it's on like everywhere you can find podcasts. Like Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Spotify, like Google. Like there's hundreds of websites. So go to whatever platform you will listen to your podcast. Look up
Okay.
Rose and Thorns, a Bachelor podcast, and you'll find it there. I swear. And I'll probably post about it. But me and Jenny will probably post about stuff, and we might have guests on, and they'll post about it. you can it's like you can even Google Roseanne Torrance, and I'm sure one of the links will be to the podcast where you can listen.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, sounds awesome, Martin. Sounds awesome. And finally, as we kind of wrap up our convo, this has been a great conversation. By the way,
Yeah,
I've loved it. How can fans follow you on social media
yeah.
or contact you for booking?
Okay, the social media. Unfortunately, all my social media it's like all different names. It would be smarter to set like one name for everything, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess maybe I should change that. But I guess if you're still on Facebook, just Martin Phillips and look for this face. I guess the Instagram it's fly
Yeah.
Marty Philly, Fly Marty Philly. On Twitter, it's Funny Phillips, but it's PHUNNYFILLIPS. I like switched the P. You get what I did. Okay, and
Okay.
yeah, okay, and then I don't know. You can just email me if you want to book me, I guess, at Martin Phillips Comedy at gmail.com. So
Okay.
I think that's all the ways you can find me.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to think what else I have. Yeah, I think
Well, we definitely want fans to listen to your podcast, and we definitely want fans to know how they can follow you, Martin, because people need to know you're one of the funniest comedians in Washington, D.C., and I want everybody to know it. And I definitely want fans to know how they can contact you to book
yeah,
you for a party, a
out,
show, or
outdoor
anything they
party.
got going.
Yeah, outdoor party, outdoor show. It's
Yeah,
not,
well, I mean, the whole nine, man.
yeah, yeah,
And we're definitely going to be looking for a special from Martin
yeah.
Phillips in the near future.
It's out.
Martin, this has been a great
Yeah,
conversation, man. I
thank you.
appreciate you being
Yeah.
on my show.
You really organized with this because you asked me to do this date October 5th, like in May or June.
I did. I did.
I was like, yeah, I guess I don't have anything to do in October. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing this month. But yeah, you were super. Like I was marked it. There was nothing else on my calendar for months, but I always had this show appearance, so I'm happy to do it. And
Yes.
I think it was pretty good. I had a good time. It was a good conversation.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, buddy. I have like scheduled all my shows for the whole year. And some of these shows end up on Roku TV, but they make the decision on as far as what show will go on. So you never know. You might end up on there. You never know, Martin. If you do, I'll let you know.
All right, that sounds cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with the very talented and the very funny DC comedian, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Phillips.
Thanks.
All right, Martin, God bless you, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.